Hello world, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the European Ruins CarrotCast, hosted by yours truly, Illegal Carrot, community manager and developer for the European Ruins mod. We have another fantabulous episode for you here today, and not just a single episode, this one is a multi-parter, as I am finally getting around to recording our 2-year Steam release anniversary. That's right, for those of you in the know, you'd know that we launched on June 6, 2020, and so June 6, 2022 was of course our 2-year Steam release anniversary. So we decided to have some fun with it, and like we did last year, we threw a special event for the occasion. So as you guys probably know, June 6 is known historically as D-Day, the day that the Allies landed in France. And to celebrate the occasion and our anniversary, we had players play through a variety of maps, and we'll see exactly how each of them play out. This first one we've got here today is on Beachhead, a 3 versus 3 reinforcements. We shall see if the Allies are able to establish a beachhead, overcome the Axis opposition, and secure a foothold for their invasion of Europe. And I will be casting those for you here today. So thank you to everyone who sent in a replay, and thank you to all of our players out there, all of the European Ruins players who have supported us and enjoyed our game and kept us going these 2 years and all the more years that EIR has been around. We do it for you guys, we love you guys, and we couldn't do it without you. And without any further ado, let's get into our game. So our first match today is a 3 versus 3 on Beachhead. Starting us off, it is a reinforcements mode, so 2 players on each team will be coming on with a 3rd player reinforcing. First ally on is DerPrdl, who is going to be playing on his infantry company. You see him starting with a quad, some infantry, rangers, and an AT gun. Also with the allies is going to be Leto, who's going to be running his Airborne company today. You can see a quad out of him as well, with Airborne and an AT gun. Starting off with the Axis, we're going to be having Punkmaster, who today is going to be playing on his Scorched Earth company. He's starting off with plenty of infantry and a martyr right down the road. And backing him up is going to be Normac, who's going to be playing on his Terror company, starting off with a Panther and 2 Knight's Cross holders. Reinforcing each team for the Allies is going to be Fantik, who will be coming on to reinforce his team in just a minute. And for the Axis, reinforcing will be Krushchev, who today is going to be playing his Luftwaffe company and coming on in just a moment. So let's get started and see what's happening with the game. Very brief skirmish is taking place. Panther engaging the Airborne infantry over here, but they don't hit anything. And some small arms fire getting traded back and forth here. Punkmaster is really the first fight of the game, so he's going to be throwing his Panzer Grenadiers into cover here. And Normac's going to be backing him up with Knight's Cross holders. And they will be making very quick work of this infantry. Good incendiary grenade on the Airborne's retreat path, and the Airborne get completely annihilated. First squad down. Normac going in for some kills on these Airborne, doing a good job taking out some Airborne riflemen, but that is a lot of damage for a Panther to be taking this early on into the game. Down to less than 200 HP. He's going to have to pull that back in repair, which is going to be a large amount of population to be sent back to the repair at the spawn point. And meanwhile, his Knight's Cross holders are getting eaten up. They're going to take down a Jeep. Just a couple more hits to take it out. There we go. So they've at least taken out some reconnaissance for the Allies. And they're actually going to have to retreat back through that fire. So that's got to be annoying. But Knight's Cross holders are tough. They can take it, and they move on. Punkmaster moving in some Panzer Grenadiers with G43s. This is going to be a somewhat favorable engagement for them to take at long range in cover. Well, there goes their cover, thanks to that AT gun. But multiple Panzer Grenadier squads are going to be moving in and making quick work of these Rangers from DerPrdl. The Allies being forced back. 2 AT guns are not going to be able to do a whole heck of a lot against 3 Panzer Grenadier squads. And here it is. Fantik coming onto the map. You can see him starting with a Sherman. Oh my gosh. So the Axis actually have a strafing run. Scorched Earth used a strafing run, which was able to take out 2 men on that MG and damage the AT gun there. Leto's able to reinforce the front with some carefully placed Airborne as well. The Axis have a significant territory jut into the Allied territory. Way back here, Leto dropped some recoilless rifle Airborne, and they don't have any vehicles to be going up against. Maybe they can put some damage on this scout car, but those are going to be some dead Airborne, and it doesn't look like they've accomplished anything. That is going to be a very painful blow for the Allies to suffer this early on in the game. And Normac's Panther, which has not repaired, which must be what those Airborne were going after, finishes the kill. So Normac gets his revenge there, bringing that Panther up to 8 kills. But because it's not at the front, this Sherman is able to run amok. Can it get this last hit in? Take out the Martyr? No, the Martyr just barely escapes for now. Let us see what happens. Can anybody deal with this Sherman? Krushchev needs to be getting his Hotchkiss Stuka to deal with this Sherman. Just a hit or two, but oh, it goes down to anti-tank grenades. Leto's Airborne in cover here, putting out significant damage on these Panzergrens, but are they going to be a match for these Knights Crossholders? Well, not if the Knights Crossholders are outnumbered 4-1. And this could be a very well-placed Stuka from Krushchev, and absolutely, that is a significant blow for the Allies to be dealt. But a booby trap, a Scorched Earth booby trap, placed in here by Punkmaster, is going to do significant damage to these engineers. They're just not getting out in time. And there they go. That Scorched Earth effectively denied that building to the Allies and wiped out an engineer squad, forcing them to run. Panzer Grenadiers are able to take out that MG, so now the Allies' defensives are looking a little sparse here. More Airborne being dropped in the mid here to reinforce the line. Effective use from Fantik of the Airborne paradrop ability. Dropping him right at the front and getting him to the fight ASAP, which is what they're going to need against an aggressive Axis push like this. Meanwhile, the Axis actually appear to be repairing. That Martyr is able to get a little past the halfway point. And this scout car as well is repairing on the move. Very handy ability. Very handy ability indeed. DerPrdl. Is he going to grab that MG with the engineers? Yes. So he's got a one-man engineer squad. We'll see what he does exactly with that. Fantik taking the fight to the Axis, getting a nice little territorial gain. They're going to be able to hop into this house. This will be a good defensive point for them. Recon runs going back and forth. No, this must have been a Scorched Earth firebombing run. Dropping a significant amount of incendiary rounds, decrewing the AT gun, softening up the Allied lines, and a strafing run comes through as well, wiping out some infantry. Allies are having to pull back a little bit and regroup. A little bit of damage on those Shermans, significant amount of damage on that quad. Both sides eyeing each other from about the halfway point. Fantik with a reward unit, the Sherman Ace Thunderbolt. Looks like he'll be coming in on this flank. We've got 3 Shermans on the field from these allies. Workhorse of the Allied war machine, indeed. Quad moving in on these Panzer Grenadiers. It's a significant amount of damage. They're just getting mulched up. Lots of MGs firing on them at once. But suppression fire from these Panzer Grenadiers is going to suppress the entirety of this Allied blob. Fire up to get away from the Airborne. And another rocket run. That's a serious hit. And a second one's coming in. What does it do? Well, it just misses, but these infantry are forced back. These rangers have next to no health. I gotta see what they are at right here. 21 HP across 3 of them. And it's not over for them yet. Punkmaster's Martyr getting some nice shots in from range, forcing the Sherman to back off. Panzer Grenadiers have a good location right behind this little shed here. Mortar takes some damage but is able to get away. And Normac is bringing in the KCH with an LMG that they have picked up. This is going to be a very powerful unit on the field. Paired with some Panzer Grenadiers with a Panzerschreck. And this quad might just be dead. Oh no, it misses. Lucky quad gets away. Knights Crossholders engage an AT gun over here. They take a shot to the face, but the heroes that they are able to shrug it off and walk away. Allies are not able to push due to this Panther here, blocking any sort of progress. Fantik's got some cheeky Airborne out on the flank here, probing the enemy lines, slowly capturing this sector. AT gun gets a shot in and snipes a dude at close range. That poor rifleman, that's gotta hurt.
We got contact!
Multiple points of contact along the line. LMGs facing off against LMGs. Rangers. And not really sure what they want to do. Looks like they're getting back into cover, engaging in the fight. Panzergrens are being fired on by a quad, an HMG, an LMG, and BARs, so they are pinned, but they're able to get the grenade off and force the Rangers back, if nothing else. And a Hotchkiss Stuka barrage does a bit of damage to the MG, but it just quite does not connect. KCH with their LMG are going to start focusing down this MG. This could open up this point of contact for the Axis if they can just take out this HMG. Krushchev gets off the grenade, so that HMG will be going down no matter what, and there it is. Panther going in on the quad. One more hit and the quad will go down.
We've lost the half.
Quad is dead. Now what happens to this Panther? Does it engage with this AT gun? No. He's backing off. Meanwhile, over here we've got 3 Shermans going in on a Martyr. That is 1 dead Martyr. Airborne engaging with Panzer Grenadiers, but the poor Panzer Grenadiers are just outnumbered. And another artillery strike. What happens here? Another incendiary strike from the Scorched player. Doesn't quite get any kills, although an airborne squad is forced to retreat, and the Allies will not be able to traverse through this sector. Germans look like they're being forced back by this Panther, but that Panther takes some nasty hits, and we have, is this a bombing run? Is it a strafing run? A strafing run from the Allied player. And this poor Panther is going to pull away. We'll see if it has another repair kit on it, or if Normac will be pulling him off. Punkmaster going in with the continuous probing on this flank. He's got a Martyr to back his infantry up, and a scout car to do some scouting. Another Axis recon. Quad engages it, but is not able to take the plane down. And the Allied infantry is advancing. Lots of softer units like a Hotchkiss and a Pack 50. Hotchkiss takes a nasty hit. Pack is decrewed, forced to retreat. Airborne is engaging with the Panzer Grenadiers over here. It looks like Leto is going in for a flank here. Or he just feigned a flank and now he's backing off. DerPrdl's BARs trying to find a good angle on these Panzer Grenadiers, but deciding better of it. Pulling back a bit. A more favorable location. I don't know if this shack is necessarily a more favorable location, especially with incendiary grenades on the way. But they're able to hop out the back, and a quad is going to come in to support them. Now he just needs to be careful about anti-tank grenades. He takes one, and the other squad is probably still on recharge from their first grenade. But those Panzer Grenadiers are going to take some serious damage here. With a Sherman and more squads of infantry pulling in, I'm not sure if... Nope, they go down. Punkmaster's pulling some units to support, but it's already too late. This is a wonderful location for this LMG. Knight's Cross holders are not going to go down easy, and that LMG is going to cover this entire sector. Now Punkmaster decides it's his turn to fight. Hopping in cover and engaging. 1 and 2 anti-tank grenades on the quad. Receives a damage engine. That's going to be pretty significant. And these Rangers actually get suppressed. We have a sniper from Normac. Rangers are a perfect target for a sniper here, but he's got to be extraordinarily careful with this unit. Martyr's forced back. Sniper has not taken a shot yet. There it goes. Takes down an infantry, actually.
The enemy is becoming a
Stuka barrage threatens these Rangers, forces them back, but does not quite connect. Meanwhile, when he's done with the barrage, all right, now he's pulling the Hotchkiss back a little bit. 2 sneaky little Airborne over here holding the line. Meanwhile, 1 sneaky little Panzer Grenadier holding the line in this sector. So these territories will be secured for their respective teams until these infantry can be cleared out. Sniper gets another shot in, and this is where it's going to start playing to its strengths. Allied support weapons are going to be forced back. They are not going to be able to hold the line for very long against a sniper. Sherman's repairing up. Infantry is healing. Mostly DerPrdl. These Rangers making the most of this triage center. Sherman coming down the line. Does not want to stop. It's probably going in on this sniper. 2 Pack 50s, a Martyr, a Hotchkiss. He's going in on the sniper. He wants that sniper dead. Can the Sherman do it? Will it survive? Get in the house.
Enemy unit down.
Oh, and the sniper goes down anyways. That's 1 dead Sherman, but that's a fair trade. And a bombing run out of one of the Airborne players takes out this Pack 50 and destroys the gun on this Martyr. Now this Martyr has already done, well, it's gotten a kill to itself, but we have another strafing run
Casualties
on the
being
AT
reported.
gun. Crew is able to survive thanks to their green cover shield. Green cover provided by the gun shield, I should say. Anti-tank grenades don't quite hit the mark on this Sherman. 1 more. And that misses as well. Would have been better served with an incendiary grenade on this MG. More Airborne dropping in. That's going to be something for the Axis to contend with, that's for sure. Sherman against a Hotchkiss, but that Sherman is so low on health. Both tanks are 1 hit away, I would say. Hotchkiss misses,
Enemy
and it
unit
pulls
down.
the heck out of there like it needs to. Allies taking this opportunity to advance a bit closer, a bit further. We have Airborne riflemen over here, and Airborne closing in over here. We have a massive infantry out of Normac. 2 Knights Cross holders, 2 Grenadiers pulling up to the front. Axis are definitely going to need that against these Airborne and these flanking Rangers here. But will the Axis be able to concentrate their firepower effectively? good incendiary grenade, and this LMG continues to do work in this house here. But we have a Jeep and even a Hellcat coming in out of Fantik.
Knocked out.
This is a good flank, and the Hotchkiss Stuka goes down. There goes some artillery support for the Axis. But they don't care. They are counterattacking anyways. Pushing right on into the Allied line. This HMG is about to go down. Sherman goes down. This Panzer III has already done some work, forcing the Allies back. They can drop in 2 LMGs, but the Panzer isn't going to care. But this Hellcat will certainly do a number on it. And the Panzer III is just not able to do enough damage, and it goes down. Now we have a veteran Hellcat on the field. And a brief lull in the fighting as both sides recomposed themselves. More infantry out of Krushchev up to the front. DerPrdl doing a good job of just holding down the sector over here. And that's exactly, it looks like, where Krushchev is headed. Their Kar-98s actually take out the machine gunner on this Sherman. Miraculously enough. So that's going to go a decent amount of the anti-infantry capability of this tank. We have one incendiary grenade in the house on the Rangers. Another one on these Rangers here. It's going to burn, but is it going to burn fast enough? Is it going to burn hot enough? Panzer Grenadiers are forced back, but the Nice-Krots are able to come in and do some good work. This squad significantly low on health. We'll have to come back to heal. Hotchkiss Stuka. What was this? This was, what, a Martyr? Martyr got caught up in the mix and went down.
Unit down.
Hellcat was able to get away scot-free. Probably back to repair, down to 185 health. These LMGs... Oh, the Airborne Riflemen go down, but they buy enough time for this HMG to pin these Panzer Grenadiers. They'll have to pull back to the green cover here. Meanwhile, these Airborne with M2 carbines are going to come in.
Enemy
That's a
unit
smart
down.
incendiary grenade. He's covering his retreat. The Airborne will not be able to pursue without running through it or having to micro around it. Hopping into green cover. This is a hell of an engagement here. We have another fight going on here. And two M10 Wolverines and a Sherman do a significant amount of damage here. The Axis just don't have anything to deal with mass Allied armor. It's easy enough to penetrate a Hellcat with most weapons, but you just need plenty of weapons to hit
Enemy
them.
unit down.
Martyr engages from a distance. Hits one, hits two. One Hellcat goes down. But will he be able to survive? Will he be able to engage this second M10? No, he's getting circled. It's not enough. Main gun destroyed, and it... this is one dead Martyr. There we go. Leto making effective use of the M10 Wolverine's speed and maneuverability, coming back behind the lines. Getting a kill on this scout car, getting a kill on this Martyr. If you can trade one tank destroyer for another, that might very well be a pretty significant trade. Allies are going to have to pull back to repair, though, at this point. And they're definitely going to need to heal up as well. Another booby trap going off in this house. Poor DerPrdl. HMG and LMG combo suppress these Panzer Grenadiers, who are going to have to pull back. And Allied infantry are able to effectively mass and move in. Panzer Grenadiers are going to force them to deal with this problem. So let us see some grenades out of these guys. What do they do and where do they throw them? Panzer III, oh, is in the wrong place at the wrong time. Excellent angle out of this Hellcat from Fantik.
Enemy unit
Krushchev
down.
loses the Panzer III to 2 tank destroyers, getting double teamed, trying to micro his infantry and his tank at the same time, and it just does not work. Punkmaster still with his one-man unit holding this sector over here. Very effectively, good for him. But with the Allies pulling back, oh, maybe they hear it, maybe they see it. A King Tiger is on the field from Normac. 1,900 hit points. This infantry might be suppressed here in the middle, but they don't care. They've got a King Tiger backing them up. Incendiary grenades out the wazoo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Flames everywhere. Punkmaster coming in with a wonderful flank here with his Panzer Grenadiers equipped with G43s. First they engage these flamethrowers, wiping them down to 2. Down to 1. But the flamethrower is just so effective against units with soldier armor and so effective against units in cover. Nice crossholders continuing the advance. They get their zeal bonus from the King Tiger. 13 kills already, and this King Tiger has just entered the fight. Knights Cross are able to force off those Airborne, force off those LMGs. King Tiger takes out the anti-tank gun, decrews it, and then destroys it. But there was a recon run from the Allied players. They see the Axis don't have any defense in depth. They've got nothing back here. Normac needs to pay more attention. Oh, he just got his King Tiger surrounded. The Allied war machine is able to pump out enough tanks, and they were able to outnumber the King Tiger and get in behind him like this. This King Tiger overextended. Damage engine on the M10. But more rear armor hits. M10 taken out of the fight, but the King Tiger goes down. That went from wonderful to terrible in just moments. Can Krushchev make up for it on the flank? 2 Panzer Grenadiers and 2 Panzer Shreks. Incendiary grenades forcing the Airborne back. Allies continue their push. 4KCH cannot hold the line on their own. And Airborne with carbines are making quick work of individual Panzer Grenadier squads. This Airborne squad has Airborne Elite, and because it is alone, because it is not surrounded by any other Airborne units, you can see it gets actually 3 pips of advantage from the Airborne Elite. And that deals a significant increase to their damage output. You see 2 Airborne next to each other, that actually gets reduced down to 2 pips each, which is still a significant bonus for them, but not quite as good on the individual squads. Backcappers get caught by 4 Knights Crossholder units, and they may not even survive. They do not. They get cut down retreating back to base. And Normac will roll up this flank and recapture this territory with only 2 Airborne Rifle squads to hold the line. 4 Panzer Shrek squads out of Khrushchev. They really could have used these Panzer Shreks earlier against those tank destroyers. Potentially could have saved that King Tiger. Fantik repairing his Hellcat, almost done, and a howitzer, a field howitzer, going up from DerPrdl. This could be significant over the course of the game, if it manages to survive, that is. Allies massing their infantry. This is not a place that this lone unit wants to be. Axis moving in to mass themselves as well. But this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Airborne squads. 2 quads. And some Rangers right back here. Pulling up for some healing. Howitzer barrage goes down right in the path of these Panzer Grenadiers. They see it just in time and they pull the heck back. They do not want to walk into that. But the Knights Cross walking into an HMG. However, they are able to mass on the line and gun down some of these squads. But they're getting focused down themselves. Martyr comes in, gets the hits in on the quads. The quads choose to fire at the KCH, but they go down.
Half-track, ready to roll.
One quad goes down, but the Martyr's not able to hit the second. We have a mass of Airborne running on down the line. And another Martyr up behind. Will these Panzerschrecks be able to take out this Hellcat?
Too hot. Taking fire.
No, they can't get an angle on the Hellcat. They're firing at the quad instead. Looks like the quad will get away. The Martyr goes down. Excellent flank from Fantik from this Hellcat. Very well played, sir. And these Panzerschrecks. One Hellcat goes down. But the second gets the kill and gets away. Punkmaster slowly backcapping down this way with his one-man unit. Leto sending an Airborne Rifleman squad to check for that. Punkmaster's Panzer Grenadiers are able to force the Airborne and the Infantry back. DerPrdl pulling his Rangers back to the triage for some healing. Panzerschreck on that Ranger Captain. That is going to be a very scary deal for any Axis armor. But Axis armor has just not been having a good time this match in the first place. Normac defeated out of just about everything he throws in the towel.
Send you a mission order.
Or maybe he really didn't have anything left. But the Allies themselves have taken a significant beating. And you can see the Axis are actually outcapping the Allies at this point, so it doesn't matter if Normac is out of the fight. If they're not able to grab some territory, then they will simply lose on cap. These LMG Airborne are not able to do a damn thing about this half-track. And I believe those are some Italian parachutisti inside there, and they gun down those Airborne and get the heck out of Dodge, away from this Hellcat. Massive Panzer Grenadiers engaging this lone squad of Airborne. Hellcat is not able to find this half-track. The half-track bumps into the Hellcat. No, this is not what he wanted. Hellcat misses. The half-track. They play ring around the rosy around this hedge here. This half-track wants to. This half-track needs to get away from this Hellcat. And Fantik is on point with his micro. Another miss from the Hellcat. So far, this infantry half-track has gotten very lucky. But he's going to need to pull it into some friendly units. Any kind of AT to deal with this Hellcat here. Oh, a stray AT gunshot takes it out of the fight. Knocks it out. Parachutisti are going to engage with the Jeep. It's one more kill for them. 4 infantry and a vehicle before their half-track goes down. Wonderful incendiary grenade here right on top of all these Allied support weapons. You can see them slowly getting chipped away, but they're also within the healing aura of the triage center. So the incendiary burn is not going to hurt quite as much as they get some ointment applied to them as they burn by the medics in the triage center. Another artillery barrage from DerPrdl. Howitzer not quite landing where he wants it to. Panzerschreck hits the Schwimmwagen dead on. And the Hellcat misses.
Enemy
That's a
unit
dead
down.
Schwimmwagen. Infantry amassing on this poor Panzer Grenadier squad in this shack here. But again, Allies are losing cap, and the Axis are winning, and the Axis simply have the territorial advantage. This howitzer is forced to decrew. run off the map. This AT gun is under serious pressure here.
Taking hits!
These Panzer Grenadiers need to pull back just a bit further. They cannot be sitting under this HMG fire, and combined with the mortar, this combined arms fire is just going to take them out.
Airborne target is dead!
Significantly outgunned, these Panzer Grenadiers pull back. But the Allies are still losing territory. They are still losing PopCap. And the Axis are still slowly capping, sector by sector. Punkmaster is doing wonderful work here. He has single-handedly captured most of the map, even on a 2 versus 3. Fantik saying he's all out of stuff. Let's see, what does he even have left? Wow, not much.
Airborne ready.
2 very low health airborne squads with only 2 men left and a Hellcat. Do we have any amount of AT for the Sherman here? 1 grenade. Does about 100 damage to this Sherman. These Panzer Grenadiers making it past the HMG out of its arc of fire. They can pull over here to this green cover and engage the Airborne. More anti-tank grenades out of these Panzer Grenadiers. Got 2 engagements and 1 to check out. Kettenkrad goes down. Poor Panzer Grenadiers are sitting right in front of this HMG now.
Help us! Help you!
Airborne with the carbines proved to be just too much for these Panzer Grenadiers.
You call, we answer.
Lucky Sherman just barely misses. I should say just barely dodges that anti-tank gun. And a late Hummel out of Punkmaster gets 2 infantry kills, forces some support weapons back.
Go ahead.
But we have another artillery barrage out of DerPrdl off of that howitzer gun. Going for the howitzer. Krushchev is dead. It's all down to Punkmaster, but you can still see Axis are winning significantly on territory and population. The Allies are losing significantly on territory and population.
Taking fire!
Good pack capping here by Punkmaster. Allies have no infantry in the sector to either hold this sector or hold the line.
Unit down.
Panzer Grenadier squad goes down, but what kind of work exactly can he do with it? These Airborne don't want to take this engagement. They know they're going to lose long range against these Kar-98s from these Panzer Grenadiers. But if the Axis are actually able to cut off the Allied sectors, this is just some brilliant capture game out of Punkmaster.
Incoming radio transmission.
With a Hummel on cooldown, he can slowly pick off the Allied infantry. In fact, the Allies might run their own mortar fire. 2 airborne riflemen from Leto.
We are coming on the position.
That would be easy prey for these Panzergrens if they're able to get in here and deal some damage. But the Jeep is looking to cut him off, and the Sherman is on the way. And it looks like Punkmaster is going to get cut off from his own capture. He needs to come back and eliminate this rifle squad. What population are the Allies even at? Oh, they've stabilized things a bit. Now they're back in the positive. This might very well just be over for the Axis. One final squad from Punkmaster. Who's got the minesweepers?
Engineers here.
Indeed, no minesweeper. 2-man minesweepers cannot. Regular engineers can, even with the minesweeper upgrade, sure. But specifically the 80 manpower, 1 population, 2-man minesweeper unit, no, they cannot. And with that Panzer Grenadier squad running off the field, that is gonna do it for the Axis. The Hummel goes as well. He does not go for a final barrage. And that is it. Game 1 for our D-Day special goes to the Allies. Now, given random spawn locations, it was actually the Axis who spawned on the beach and the Allies who spawned on the mainland. But, hey, you know what? We're just going to say the Allies managed a successful beach landing this time around. So this was game number 1 on Beachhead. We will be continuing on game number 2 on the map D-Day, following this one up, as the Axis and the Allies go for a rematch, and the Allies make their way inland from a successful beach landing. Well played to all of our players. Leto not too impressed with the Airborne LMG. It's not bad, especially not on Airborne. Very successful use of these Rangers by DerPrdl. Good use of the triage, good use of the officer. These guys did a significant amount of damage and survived for quite a while, and that is it. The Axis are eliminated. Alrighty, well, thank you so much for joining us today. I do hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, be sure to leave us a like. Leave a comment down below what you thought of this, what you thought of this game, and subscribe to our channel so you can see a little bit more from us. And while you're at it, check out these other recommended videos. So that is going to do it for part 1 of our anniversary special. Be sure to check out part 2. I'll put a link in the description, and it'll be one of our end screen options. Alrighty, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.